It's fucking another day in the grid, as I like to say. Another day where the sun is shining in LA. Look at this beautiful beer that I have right in front of me. This one is called Road Rage on the 405 by Paperback Breweries in Glendale, California. Fucking shout out to them. This is shit, I don't even know what kind of beer this is. West Coast style,
yeah,
Indian
yep.
IPA. So yes, sir.
All right, guys. I don't have a glass because I ain't that formal, but beautiful fucking can. Let's look at the logistics to it. I believe it is a 8.2% pint. It's a nice fucking label. It's really feeling this retro fucking style. For anyone that doesn't know, and for any of my California natives that are listening, you know damn well these freeways be making you want to fade up everyone and anyone. So, I trust that they know the road rage that's fucking there. I can't tell you, dog. I'm a patient person. At least I like to think so. So I can't tell you how many times I've almost got out of the car to fade some fool up. The only thing that stopped me was that I was scared about getting in trouble after. Like, I'm not afraid to fight. I'm afraid of what's gonna happen after, like legality wise.
I don't know how many motherfuckers I wanted to fucking fade up in the fucking car, bro. God damn. Like, some people don't. There's like a few categories of people. There's the people that don't know how to drive, the people who don't give a fuck about how they drive, and then the people who are just really cautious and slow everybody else down and shit. So I feel like those three motherfuckers are the problem. There could be more, there could be less. But damn, bro, I wanted to fade some motherfuckers up.
When the pandemic started last year, I want to say it was either around March or April, I was taking the streets from where I am up to Pasadena. And then I took the wrong route, but I don't know why. I was just being stupid. And then I guess some fucking dipshit fucking guy thought I was fucking tailgating him. And tell me why he tries to start brake checking me. And there's you could tell, I don't know if he's like some vato ass fool, but he was some bald headed fool in like some ugly ass old gold champagne Cadillac. And then he tries brake checking me, and I was like, what the fuck? So I start honking. I'm just like, in my hand outside, I'm like, what's up? Like, what the fuck? Like, don't try to brake check me because you're driving slow as fuck, thinking you're looking cool and shit. And then this motherfucker, so I try to swerve around the line to see him. Tell me why this motherfucker cuts me off to swerve in the other line to stay in front of me. So I was like, oh, no, dog, you're lucky I'm on my way to work, because I swear to fucking God. I was like, this fucking guy does not understand. Now, this is where this fool fucked up, though. So so this fool tried to drive slow. And he pulls up to those little there was a turning point. Okay, so the street I was taking was a big boulevard. So there's a turning point in the middle in the middle of the boulevard to turn left. So what happens is this idiot slowly gets into the left turning lane to look at me. So I always just slow down in the middle of traffic to look at this fool, some bald-headed fucking bitch ass fool. I know what he looks like. Here's the best part that I found out though later that night. That car looked where he turned onto that street. I've seen a car that same exact color parked there day and night. I'm like, nah, this fool did not just burn himself like that. So later that night when I got out of work, I went down that street. That fool lives on that street. And I was like, oh, you a stupid ass fool. Why would you try to start some shit where you live? I was like, what a fucking idiot. So now every time I pass by, I'm just like, is this the day? Is this the day I just fucking start?
Right there.
Yeah. I don't go looking for fights, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen that car that I'm just like really tempted to get outside and just start staring at it and wait for that fool to come out. And then he'll probably notice my Challenger, and then, I hope he'll notice. So I'm like, what's up, fool? We outside. What you gonna do? Or, you know what? I might change my answer to why. Oh, so there was a question we were gonna pose for the audience or for us. My question is starting to battle back and forth right now, but no, I'm gonna keep my answer the same. All
right. Let me introduce the question then to everyone listening and to you, Dave. If there was anybody at any point in history, whether they're alive today or they're dead, what's the one person that you could fight? If there was one person at any time and point in history that you could fight, who would it be?
Just because I'm getting mad thinking about it, I want to fade that bitch ass fool up right now. I might fuck around and go take a drive down that street, to be honest. But I think just because I know where he's at, I don't feel like I should make that guy my answer. I'm just getting mad. The real fool I want to fade up is Ronald Reagan. All my homies hate on Ronald.
Ronald Reagan.
Just the more I find out about the racist ass shit that he was on and all that, just makes me want to fade that fool up even more. I'll commit as many sins as I need to go to the depths of hell, and I'll just fucking be the fucking doom slayer and fucking doom, and I'll just go looking for that fool. But I mean, that's just me. Like I don't like. I know some people might say, "Oh, Hitler," and like some other cliche, corny shit, but nah. We want to fade up the racists. We don't fuck with that shit. That shit is boo boo. That shit is foo foo. All my fools love every fool of every color. We don't give a fuck. We judge you on who you are, not what you look like. But I don't fuck with that racist foo foo shit. I don't like that shit. I get jokes. Jokes are funny, but that fool is just racist. Fuck that fool. Fuck Ronald Reagan. You're a fan of fucking Ronald Reagan. Fuck you too. His movies are fucking bunk. Those shits are fucking trash. Nah. I'm surprised he even became president. I don't even know how. That fool had no drip. No swag, nothing. Bitch ass fool. Fuck that fool.
The one person that I want to fight right now is Jose Abreu from the White Sox. Fuck that motherfucker. He injured fucking Ohtani yesterday when they were playing the White Sox against the Angels. There was a play at home plate, and this motherfucker came in sliding in, got Ohtani right on the ankle. It's tough being an Angels fan, bro. They usually have a good team, and then they got the injury curse over them. So right now, Jose Abreu, if you're listening to this, thank you for listening. But God, I want to fucking deck you right in the dome, bro.
Be careful when you come to Anaheim, fool. This full podcast might pull up and fucking run that fade real quick. I'm not even an Angels fan, but I think just the fact that I understand, like, I keep up too, but like, if that's just what's so, like, that's what's so funny about the Angels. It's just like they can have all these players, but something just always goes wrong, and they just can never get they can never get past the fucking regular season. So
Jose
far, they
Abreu,
can't get
watch
past.
your fucking back, bro. Watch your fucking back.
Oh my god.
Do you have any honorable mentions? Any honorable mentions to who you would
besides
fight?
that bitch ass fool that I actually know where he lives and just got to catch me on the wrong day and I'll fucking fade that fool up all easy. Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Shit,
I want to fuck both those fools.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind fighting one of those two. Give me some of that money too. But just know there's no gentleman's agreement. We're gonna fucking fight for real. And I'm gonna try and knock this fool out for all of us, bro. I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do it for everyone at home.
That's what I'm saying.
KSI.
That's
I got you, bro. Don't even trip.
That's what I'm trying to say about like fighting those two fools. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're like, oh, like blah blah blah. Like, no. This is how I'm saying it right now. This is just how I'm seeing it. Understand it from a fool's perspective. This fool says stupid shit. I get it. I say stupid shit all the time too. Now here's my issue. This fool talks too much for someone that doesn't know shit and barely knows anything. I've seen his fight videos, bro. With the amount of time and money he has, he could have gone amateur and he could have gone professional, could have got more respect in the fucking field. He hasn't for a reason. That's what I'm saying. Nah, fuck that. Now this is just clout chasing. This is just fucking layman shit. Mm-hmm. Especially for someone like me who enjoys fucking fighting and who enjoys the sport. I'm not trying to be a purist, but it's just the fact that it's bringing in he's bringing in his toxic fan base that thinks they know the combat sports and they're talking all this shit. And that's where I got my issue now. Now you guys aren't that, you don't have to be super respectful, but at least shut the fuck up when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, like, just cool. You're a Jake Paul fan. All right, I guess. But don't fucking come around saying Jake Paul can fade up anybody. Muhammad Ali, that fool ain't got nothing on Jake Paul. Don't be saying stupid shit like that. Like, this idea that Conor McGregor needs to earn his way to fight Jake Paul. Bro, I never wanted to fade that fool up so bad until he said that. It's not even because I'm a McGregor fan. It's the fact that this fool thinks he's on some elite level where he can say McGregor needs to do this to fight him. McGregor, fucking double champ McGregor, notorious MMA. Notorious McGregor needs to fucking earn his chance to fight a YouTuber? Boy, get the fuck, bro. I'm telling you, give me a 4-week camp, give me 3-week camp. I'll fade this fool too easy. This fool's light work, dog. I've seen his videos. That fool is not sick like that. I don't know what the fuck people are on. I've seen other amateurs, dog. This fool is nothing on that level. He's just not. This idea is like, oh, well, he's fading up all these fools, dog. These fools he's fading up, I'm telling you right now, these fools look like scrubs. The way they're keeping their arms up, the way they're fucking moving their head, the way their footwork is, scrubs, complete scrubs, bro. I can tell some of those. I know for a fact. I'm willing to bet shit on it. I know for a fact at least one of those motherfuckers, or it's just one of his lame ass homies that doesn't know how to fight, and they tell him throw on headgear, look as amateur and professional as you can, just so it can make Jake Paul look like he can fade up anybody. And this idea that Askren can't win. Look, as long as Askren works on his fundamentals and remembers his fundamentals, he already has a fighter's spirit, a fighter's mentality. He has a chin, and he has the heart of a fighter. This dude already has a thing a lot of fighters don't have. So and the fact
Yeah,
he's already
true.
been in a professional setting. So you're telling me he wouldn't know how to handle it? No, he knows how to handle it. The issue is he's going to be going against a game that's not his, which is striking. And I understand that he's not an elite striker, but come on, dog, it's not hard to learn the fundamentals of a jab and a cross and a fucking hook. And that's a cool thing about boxing is like, well, that's the thing that separates UFC, MMA, and boxing. It's with boxing, you kind of know what to expect. With MMA and UFC, you don't know what to really expect from your fighter because your fighter is well rounded on the ground and they're well rounded standing up. So when you're in MMA, it's going to be a little hard. It's going to be a little harder, because you not have to just protect yourself. You have to watch out for the shoots. You have to watch out for the takedowns. You have to watch out for any submissions in wrestling. You have to watch out for that. Boxing, you don't. You're not going to expect some motherfucker to pick you up and slam you at some point. You're not going to expect that fool to hit you with a Muay Thai sweep. You're not going to expect none of that. It's just hands being thrown. You know, I'm not saying boxing is not as hard because it is. I've tried it. It is difficult. You definitely have to have a flow for it. You definitely have to know what you're doing. But I know for a fact, comparing the two, when I have tried the two, nah, bro. MMA is just on a whole different fucking level.
Yeah.
That shit's really advanced. And I know some people think that's not true. Like, no, 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 no. Khabib is an excellent guy striking and his ground game. But imagine that fool knew how to throw a proper fucking punch and a hook and a cross. Fucking, he's already elite as it is. That's just icing on the cake at that point. But that's what I'm talking about. So all Ben Askren has to really do is work on his fundamentals for striking. That fool will fade up any of these fools right now, especially Jake Paul. I want to fuck that fool so bad, dog. Don't even give me a count. Just let me catch that fool at fucking Monte's Burger. I'll fucking fade that fool right then and there. I don't give a fuck, dog. And we're not playing by fucking boxing rules. If I fucking see a chance to underhook his ass, I'm underhooking his ass and we're sliding through that fucking counter table. We're fucking going into the kitchen, dog. Those pans is going to be making noise at night. But anyway, I'm going on a rant. Fuck that fool. Fuck Ronald Reagan. Fuck that fool that try to break check me. I'm gonna fade that fool when I see him. I fucking know I will. Fucking bitch ass motherfucker.
There's a term called getting worked in the professional wrestling business, where like a bad guy will say shit like, "Oh, at least I'm not from Los Angeles," and then everyone from Los Angeles goes, "Boo!" That's like working the crowd. And I think right now, bro, I think Jake Paul or whoever, whatever Paul brother it is working you.
They're working
I,
us,
I,
bro.
I
Us.
I
We
think
both
you're
want to
getting
fade this
worked.
fool.
I want to fade him up, but it looks like you're worked up a bit more than I am.
Bro, I just
I'm
want to hit
more in it for
somebody.
the money.
I just want to hit somebody. I mean, I'll do it for the money too. Shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like at the end of the day, it's just shit talking. So I get it because I talk a lot of shit too. And there's been times where I've been in confrontations and I tell I'm gonna say so. I've told people I've been in confrontations before where I talk my shit. I'm like, but you ain't gonna hit me because you a bitch, and you know damn well that this shit ain't gonna go right if you fucking hit me. And then then all of a sudden we get in a stalemate. Last confrontation I was in 2018, dog, and it was some big ass black fool. Like that fool was
Damn.
at least 6'3", 6'4". That fool was yoked as fuck. But I think that fool was on something low key because that fool was like way too fucking spontaneous. That fool was way too energetic. And this fucking piece of shit, it was at a parking lot. This piece of shit parked so close to my car, I couldn't get out. My fat ass couldn't get out. So I was like, what the fuck? So I naturally hit the door because I'm trying to squeeze out and I can't. So I closed my door. I'm like, fuck, okay, I really have to move my car because this piece of shit. He was in a Hummer too, so he was a piece of shit. He was in an old ass Hummer, like an H1. So he just thought he was fucking big and bad. So this fool, I heard this fool's car door open and slam. I was like, oh hell no. Nah. So I already moved my car and gave it space. This fool comes out. This fool says, what the fuck? What's up, bitch? You fucking with my car? I'll fuck you up, bitch. Blah, blah, blah. This is what I did. Granted, though, I couldn't take off my Levi's trucker jacket at that time because it was really tight and I couldn't take it off right away. So I knew I was constricted. But this is what I did. And I'll double down on this because I meant it. And I didn't give a fuck and I still don't. I popped my door open and I hit his car again. And I said, I'm right here. I'll let you reach in and grab me. Do it right now. And he just starts staring at me. I'm like, come on. Like, what the I'm right here. Do something. And I even unlocked this. I took the seatbelt off and I was like, come on, I'll let you pull me out right now. And then he just stared at me, and then he went from that hopping, like that fool's hyped up, and then all of a sudden that shit just stopped and he started staring at me. I was like, come on. And then he just said, I ain't gonna fuck your bitch ass up. And then he walked away. I was like, that's what I fucking thought. You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do shit. Who the fuck you think you're scaring? Fucking bitch ass motherfucker. But yeah, I still fade that fool up. Every time I go to that parking lot, I still look for that fool. I still, to this day, we're gonna fade that fool when we see him. But yeah, I fade that fool too. There's a lot of fools I want to fade up, but I fade that fool too. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that fool. The fuck? Fuck his Hummer too.
I have a cousin named Sudowoodo who always wants to fight fools too, so I feel like you fools will get along.
Damn, lit. I'll get boxing gloves for that fool. Be like, hey fool, let's go. Iron sharpens iron.
Real quick, I was looking into the Logan Paul KSI fight, and in that first fight, which is considered his first professional match, in that fight alone, it says here that he gained over $900,000 just from that fight. Logan Paul, from that fight against KSI, the first fight at Staples Center that ended in a draw. From that fight alone, he earned $900,000.
You're foo-foo. That shit ends in a draw. You couldn't get the work done if that shit ends in a draw.
Hey, he got $900,000. He got a little bit under $1 million for a draw.
What makes it a professional fight? Just literally getting paid?
I don't think it's that. I think you might have to have like a commission, like a state commission, like a fighting commission or whatever. You might need like a license.
Okay, yeah, I don't know the logistics until what makes something a professional fight, but hey, man, $900K to end in a draw. I guess that's a win, but I mean, that win would have been even better. But whatever, I guess.
I mean, that's just off the first fight. Who knows how much he's made out of all the fights? I don't know how many he's had. Maybe 2, right?
So that means his total. That means his actual record is 1 win, 0 losses, 1 draw. Because he's only fought 2 people, I think.
Well, I think he and KSI had a rematch, no?
Oh, they did? Oh shit! See, I'm
yeah,
not a loop. I don't fucking know.
And then he won the second one, so I think he like 2-1-0.
Did it go to decision or did he knock him out?
I'm not sure. I think there might have been like a TKO, technical knockout. I mean, I didn't fucking give that for my money. That's the last thing I was
oh shit.
I'm not sure what I'm not sure what was the decision for that one.
I was just gonna say, if I can train for the rest of my life and dedicate myself to the UFC, and I had all the money to do so as a professional athlete, honestly, I know some people are gonna laugh, but it's just because of the challenge and just because of like pushing myself to the utmost, like the most I can do, like to the absolute limit and further. I would train and I would try to make weight just to fight Khabib. I would want that type of challenge. Like I just want to know cool. Like someone can destroy me and I have to go in there like, no, like I can win. Because I feel like that's what I don't know. I feel like competition wise, maybe it's just because I am that competitive, or like I think of the best people. I'm like, no, like I want to be better than that. And it's not to be the best, it's just to know that I slayed the best, I guess you can say. But like I respect Nate Diaz for not really giving a fuck about a championship belt, but he wants to just fight. He just wants to beat all the big names. I can respect that a lot, But it'll be better to actually have a championship belt, Like why not? Why not if you could,
I feel like it would be cool to fight Khabib, but I also think it'd also be cool to train with Khabib, like to be part of it.
Yes, exactly. That's why I was kind of like, that's why I would be conflicted too. Like I would it would have to be a student surpasses a sensei moment where I'm like, okay, like, yeah, like this is my sensei Khabib and he is my teacher and stuff like that. But I know he's the best in the world. So I know if I ever want to be the best in the world, I have to beat him. And then I feel like he's wise enough and he understands that, oh yeah, it's not because he hates me, it's because he just wants to be the best he can be. And he knows it includes beating me. So he definitely seems like that type of guy that would be okay with that from his camp,
No, yeah, definitely.
He definitely seems like he's pretty wise and like pretty understanding and disciplined. So he understands that, to pursue to be the best, you have to beat the best. So
Yeah,
shout out to Khabib.
he definitely seems like that guy that's meditating like at the top of the mountain.
Hmm.
Like just a really open-minded guy, real cool guy. Shout out to Khabib if you're listening to this. We're fucking fans of you here at this podcast.
Mind you, guys, it's 1:19 p.m. and we're already having the first brew of the day.
1:19 p.m.
But
I
that's
mean,
how we
it's
do it
5
here.
o'clock somewhere.
That's true. That's how we do it here. We do whatever the fuck we want. You know what I'm gonna say, something.
It's barely 1 p.m. And we're already a few joints in, a few beers in.
Who's your least favorite fighter in like any professional sport, whether it's boxing, wrestling, MMA?
Damn, least favorite?
Like someone you you absolutely despise.
And it could be in any sport,
Any of those combat sports, so to speak.
Combat sports. Okay.
Well, wrestling too. We'll just throw that in there.
Well, that's a little different, but in terms of like combat sports, I don't know off the top of my head. Probably John Jones is anyone that comes up to my head.
That fool John Jones, man, he's something.
Just because for a lot of reasons that we've already covered, like his PEDs and stuff, but also I was just a Daniel Cormier fan, DC. So I always kind of had a bitter taste for John Jones, especially with like him. The times that he faced DC was like on PEDs and stuff. So I just really feel that was really unfair to DC. So I feel like John Jones is a bit of a dick for that.
Yeah. I think someone I absolutely like, not absolutely, but someone I genuinely didn't like either sport was Brock Lesnar. Like I didn't like him in the WWE, and I did not like that when he came to the UFC.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really like Brock Lesnar, but whatever. Fucking Vince McMahon loves him.
That's true, but yeah, like yeah, and I like that when he came back to the WWE. I don't know for how long. I remember seeing him back there. That he still had his UFC get up and his attire, and I'm just like, okay, he's gonna bring the UFC fighter fucking persona into the fucking wrestling ring. That's funny.
That's pretty much what he did. It's pretty. I mean, WWE took a gamble when they let him fight at UFC 200, but not really because he was gassed up to the gills, bro. He was juiced up. He was on roids and shit. And Mark Hunt was pissed. He fought Mark Hunt at UFC 200, and even that went to a decision. I think they fought 3 rounds, and Brock Lesnar won, right? But I mean, he won by decision, and he was on roids, and he fought Mark Hunt. Like, I just felt that looked really bad on him and WWE because they knew that he was on all those drugs. So I mean, I don't know. I thought that was pretty fucked up what they did with him. And then even then, I remember when the first time that Stipe and DC fought, Brock Lesnar was there, and Brock Lesnar came into the ring and to the octagon, and he cut a WWE fucking pro wrestling style promo. He walked in there. He walked in there. He was like, "I watched the heavyweight Dexter from the beginning." He was like, Mioci's a piece of shit, and Gano's a piece of shit. Like, I don't know. Like, as a fan of professional wrestling, it felt like very professional wrestling. Like,
yeah. Like when I saw that clip of him going into the octagon, he was like trying to push DC and start all that shit. I didn't know he had beef like that. I was like, is this beef or is this like what the fuck is this? Is this real?
Nah. You can tell by DC's reaction that like. It was more to like self-taking and stuff, but nothing happened from it.
That's right? They didn't. Did they ever fight?
No, they didn't. Nothing happened from that.
Whack. Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering because I was like, when I saw that video, I was like, I don't remember them ever fighting. Like, did they ever fight? Maybe I'm the one that doesn't remember, but okay, I thought so. I thought they didn't fight, but damn, that would have been a lit ass match.
That would have been cool. I remember John Jones one time called out Brock Lesnar as well, and then that never happened either.
Whack, but damn, Brock Lesnar, that fool's been in the league for a minute. He's been in this type of sports for a minute. So that fool's always been a good heel.
Yeah,
I hate when heels turn good. I hate that. I like when they're heels. Yeah, when they turn babyface, I fucking hate it, man. Like I don't know. It's not that okay. I'm not gonna say I hate it. Let me take that back. It's not that I hate it. It's just like when the heel is so good at being the heel, it really it gets weird to me when they turn babyface. I'm like, dog, you were so good as a bad guy. Like, why are you gonna go good? You know, like when Batista was like the animal and the beast, or whatever the fuck he was called in
Yeah, yeah,
Evolution,
yeah.
and he's just like this wild animal that needs to get unleashed. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then like he starts making friends with the baby faces and shit. I'm like, all right, I guess, you know. But like, yeah, man, like I don't know, like who's been a heel most of their career? Like Randy Orton? Is that fool even a heel still? I know that fool's beefing with
Oh.
Soldier Boy. Oh shit.
The fool is beefing with Soldier Boy. He's been beefing with him for too long now. For too long. He's like tooting him still. He should just let it go. He I think he took the dub on that one, but he's just trying to rub it in anymore. Um, someone who's always been a heel. The honestly, it's always been the first person who comes up to mind, and who's not really like a professional wrestler, but is still a heel, is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon
Oh
always
god.
has always been a heel throughout all of his career, really, and that's really what made the Stone Cold character. I think just him, Stone Cold against the boss. You know, so if the boss wasn't such a dick, wasn't such a heel, I don't think the employee, the babyface, triumphing over the heel would really be as big.
Has Stone Cold always been babyface? Was
No,
he
he
always
was heel
technically
for a
like the
bit.
good guy?
He turned heel technically at WrestleMania 17 when he beat The Rock for the world title because he got Vince McMahon's help. So he made like a deal with Vince
Okay.
McMahon. So originally like they were feuding against each other the entire time, and then he made a deal with him like, hey, like I won't be such a dick if you let me win the world title or whatever.
Shout out to Stone Cold. Next week we're gonna be drinking those
Shout out,
Broken Skull IPAs, man. Those shits are
shout out to
fucking
Stone
fire.
Cold. I'm excited for to have him on the show whenever we get the chance to have him on, and for him to bring us
Oh
some of the
god,
beers.
I'm a
Did you
fucking
see
love that shit.
did, did you see that he posted up some seltzer on his Instagram page? But I don't know if that was real or if it was just an April Fool's joke because it was on April 1st. I'm thinking it was just an April Fool's joke.
I'm hoping it was an April Fool's joke. What the fuck is up with everyone in these hard seltzers? These shits are whack. These shits do not taste like alcohol. These shits just taste like bubbly ass water. I do not feel anything when I drink them. No, like I'm tired of this hard seltzer shit. This shit is a fad that needs to fucking stop. Just drink fucking water then. Like, don't even fucking get it spiked. I hate motherfuckers that tell me. I've had people tell me they would drink water if it had alcohol in it. Do you know how much of an alcoholic you have to be where you need alcohol to drink water? It's fucking water. How the fuck do you need alcohol for that? I don't know, man. I'm just fucking. I've heard some crazy shit, but you know what's funny though? Stone Cold being the guy who goes. This is the way I've always seen it. I've seen Vince McMahon as like corporate America or like the corporation, and Stone Cold is like the rebellious worker who wants to go against the fucking dictatorship that is corporate America. But it's just funny because you would think in real life that he would just get fired in an instance that he like, you know,
For
challenged
real,
his
for real,
fucking
for real.
boss. And instead
Yeah,
he's
it
had this
wouldn't.
fucking these years long battle with him. I mean, it's good for entertainment, but it's just funny to think about it like in this like
Yeah,
to apply
yeah.
to the real world. It's just funny to think about. But
The fool would
I
have
love
gotten
fucking
fired a long time ago.
I fucking love Stone Cold. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Of all time is really hard, but I'm gonna have to say The Rock, just because
Okay.
he was just really big. Growing up, definitely like when I first found out about professional wrestling, The Rock was my favorite, and even in the whole Stone Cold Rock rivalry, I was always rooting for The Rock. But yeah, like I learned to grow to love some other wrestlers growing up, but I would definitely say that The Rock has always been an inspiration of mine, whether it's like in the ring or in the gym or just him expanding his talent to other things beyond professional wrestling.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched wrestling, it was still the WWF. I don't remember how old I was. I'm assuming it must have been. Do you know what year they turned into the WWE?
Maybe like 2001, 2002.
Okay, so then I must have watched in 2000 or 1999. But I remember when it was still WWF. My cousin introduced me to it, and I still remember where it was. It was at my mom's aunt's house. So it was at my great aunt's house, and it was around Christmas time. And then I remember he turned on the TV. He told me to watch this, and it was WWF. And I remember Chris Jericho coming out, and he had his long ass blonde hair, and I remember that shit. But I think for all time, I think my favorite was probably John Cena, just because I actually saw his first debut and I watched him for the most part up until like I don't know, like maybe 2010, 2012, maybe at the most. I fell off wrestling like in 07, 08. I didn't care for it really. I would try to watch it here and there because my brother's still an active fan of it, but I kind of lost interest. I didn't really care anymore for it. I guess I outgrew it, but it's not to speak down on it. It's just like it changed my perspective when I found out it was fake. It genuinely changed my view on it, and I was like, well, these are just scripts that anyone can just write up and dictate a winner. So I feel like there's no real win to it. Like if they write that Rey Mysterio loses, then he loses. Like it doesn't matter if I
Yeah.
cheer for him or not. It doesn't matter if he hits the 619. He's just gonna fucking lose. So what does it matter to me? And I was just seeing it from that viewpoint. So that's kind of why I fell out of it. But I think John Cena probably been my favorite just because I remember watching his first match, and I want to say it was against Kurt Angle. I could be wrong, but I want to say his first match was against Kurt Angle. And I still remember I was 7 years old. This was 2002. I was 7 years old, and Joe Rogan and John Cena. John Cena, I remember they were doing an interview backstage with him during the whole show, obviously, but he was in the locker rooms getting interviewed by some chick. And then was it Lillian Garcia probably? And then he was getting interviewed by her. He was wearing these super tight ass maroon colored fucking like wrestling shorts, I guess, because this whole getup also was to be like an American wrestler, I guess. And then he had that, and then Kurt Angle crashed his interview and was talking shit to him, being like, "Oh, you're the new guy," or some shit like that. And then he was saying, "Oh," he was like all being like, "Yes, sir," and like, "Yes, man," and, that type of attitude. He's like, "Oh yeah, like, yes, sir," like, "This is my first match or whatever," and they're like, "All right, like, we'll see what you got out there, rookie," and stuff like that. And I think he won. I think he won that match. I want to say he did because I think he beat. Yeah, I think he pinned Kurt Angle and won. And then, but my favorite iteration of him, it's weird. It's like a 2-for-1. My favorite iteration of him was when he had his whole Thugonomics era. And you see the transition. Okay, so my favorite point in time was when it was in the middle of his Thugonomics era.
Into the John Cena.
Did the movie The Marine and then became like this, Boy Scout kind of thing, like Marine, I guess, fucking discipline as John Cena. My favorite transition was literally that, like Thugonomics did the movie Marine and then fucking became John Cena. And became like fucking, I don't give a fuck what anyone say. I'm willing to argue, even though I haven't been watching wrestling for a while. I'm willing to argue with anyone. John Cena has fucking carried the WWE for a while. For a cool minute, he carried the WWE. I'm willing to argue with anyone. You could not tell me from 2000 and what, fucking 5? Let's just say 2012. You cannot tell me John Cena was not the face of that. John Cena was fucking everywhere. I fucking drink to John Cena.
He definitely was. I finished mine, but if not, I drink to you, John Cena. To the man that cannot be seen. But so he did carry that company for a long time. And much credit to John Cena. He has a career that everyone in professional wrestling would want. However, like a lot of the fans really turned on him in the later years, like 2012, maybe even early, like 2010, because they realized that he was just winning all the time.
Yeah.
One incident that really stands out was at Survivor Series when they were having the traditional 5-on-5 match. So that's basically elimination. So there's five against 5. One guy gets eliminated, and when whoever eliminates the other 5 guys wins. So he was up against this group called the Nexus, who were the up and comers. And so at one point it was 5 against 1, 5 of them against 1 John Cena, and John Cena beat the fuck out of all of those 5. So
he's
like,
John Cena, though. You don't question the people's champ.
So that became a meme, like Cena wins, LOL, and then I remember in like 2012, 2013 at Money in the Bank when he wrestled CM Punk, there was this giant banner that said if Cena wins, we riot. So I just remember the fans and myself included really turned on him. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But now that we see him not as much involved in the WWE, now that we see him exiting in his final years of his career, if not it's already over. I don't even know when he's at his last match. But yeah, now we learn to appreciate him. Now we miss him throughout those even those years that we booed him and shit.
Um, what was CM Punk like? I never watched CM Punk. Was he like supposed to? Who replaced John Cena? Who's trying to? Who's the kind of trying to be the next John Cena? I guess, so to speak.
So in terms of like who WWE has chosen, I don't think no one has taken over John Cena in terms of like merch, in terms of like fan support, in terms of the company support. But in terms of like someone who WWE has said, you know what, this is our new like flagship guy. Is the guy who's gonna replace John Cena. There's some guy named Roman Reigns. So he's part of like the Samoan wrestling family, and it's funny because in like 2015 he won the Royal Rumble in 2015, and The Rock kid even like came out and like raised his hand and shit, and everybody started booing him, myself included. So everyone was booing him, and not because like he didn't deserve it or not because he's not good, but in my opinion, it was just so random, so out of the nowhere. So like what the fuck, but whatever. But in that moment, everyone was a big fan of this guy named Daniel Bryan at the time.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and I mean, he's cool. I'm a fan of him, but I wasn't like a huge fan as most of the wrestling population was at the time. But yeah, I remember people were behind him a lot. So when he didn't even compete in the Royal Rumble, everybody was mad. And then so I think if anybody, they would have been mad at anybody who won, but they just took it out on this guy. But yeah, ever since that moment, they've he's been booed. He's been like the fans have definitely showed their disapproval of him as a next John Cena so far. But he recently turned heel, so now he's like, like the fans, like fuck the fans. So now it kind of makes sense because everyone kind of disliked him to begin with.
Yeah.
But but with his heel run right now, he's definitely turned people's opinions around and like his work rate, his ability to be a good character and thus far. But yeah, like he's the guy that's been chosen as the new John Cena. I mean, if anybody will ever replace John Cena, who knows? Because John Cena
That's
would say, "You
why.
can't see me,"
That's
and
why that
and the
fool created.
and
I'm not.
and the Thug Life. He used to do this shit or this shit. I don't remember. I used to be in fourth grade throwing up that shit. Like, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Uh-huh.
throwing it to the other classmates.
I was that kid that was writing a thug life on my knuckles, and I just hit somebody
Hell
with
yeah,
that shit
hell
real
yeah,
quick.
hell yeah. I'd be right there telling kids to suck it and shit. I'd be like, hey, senora, and I'd be right there getting in trouble.
We gotta go to a wrestling event, dog. You and me. Vlog,
I'm down,
fucking
bro.
post show, everything. Fucking World Wrestling Fools. That's gonna be the name of that episode. World Wrestling Fools.
For real.
WWF. Hey, but nah, like I had a lot of favorites. John Cena, I think hands down was my favorite, and I still make the argument to this day. Like I'll do my homework on why he is the best, and I think it's just because he. I may be attacked by a WWE community, but I'm okay. I'm willing to sacrifice myself for this. Um, I'm willing to say he changed wrestling. He changed professional wrestling. No other wrestler has really hit it in this fucking stride like he has. I've seen the argument be for Hulk Hogan. I've seen the argument be for for The Rock. I've seen the argument be for fucking Stone Cold. No, this guy fucking changed everything. And I'm sorry for whoever I offend, but let's just look at it. This dude really fucking came in, did his thing, and like just the world fucking changed with him. This is the same argument I make with basketball. When you watch basketball from the 90s and early 2000s, it was rough, it was tough, it was posting in the paint, it was a lot of bodying up, it was a lot of fucking difficult shot making. Um, when Steph Curry entered the league and started making threes from half court and fucking 35 feet out, you have centers and power forwards, people that are like almost 7 feet tall that don't shoot that type of range, trying to make threes. And you cannot argue with me that Steph Curry didn't change the fucking game. He fucking did. I don't give a. I'm not even a Warriors fan. I'm a diehard Lakers fan. Lakers until the day I fucking die, and I'm fucking 6 feet under. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that this boy really didn't come into the league and change the fucking way they play it. You have everyone trying to be a 3-point shooter, or at least add it to their arsenal. So this is what John Cena did too. He came in and he just completely redid the WWE, intentionally or not. Sure. I don't know, but he like you can't tell me there wasn't a year where you just didn't know about John Cena. It was John Cena was the face of something. I remember my brother was gifted the Royal Rumble 06 or 07, the one where he was injured and he came back as a 30th entry. He won. Boy, when that 30th entry countdown happened, and I just hear the dun, dun. I was like, no, don't do this to me. And then I just saw him come out, that little salute, and then he ran into the ring. I was hyped as fuck. I started throwing shit off the table. I was like, no. And then he just started whooping ass and shit. I was fucking lit. I was fucking happy ass. I was a happy ass little kid. I was just like, you can't fucking see me. And then I'll fucking just clotheslining pillows I had and shit. That shit had me stupid hyped. But that's what I'm saying. John Cena could do that because he just had that power. He had that effect. He just changed the fucking game. And I'm sorry, like he did. I've noticed when Roman Reigns came in, he was hated almost from the get-go, which was weird to me because I didn't see why he was hated right away. You know, I thought he would have been treated like the next Rock, but maybe he just doesn't have the right character that fits with him. Maybe he needs to be like I might sacrifice myself. I think he needs to be the next Rock. He needs to be like for the people. He needs to be like this weird fucking, I don't even know what the fuck he classified that Rock as. He was like this weird pretty boy, like does whatever he wants, gets whatever he wants, can beat up anybody he wants, you know, type of thing. Maybe the Roman Reigns needs to go to that, bro. Because whatever realm he's been on since he came in, they just do not like his ass at all. Every time I see him do something good, he gets booed on. I feel bad for the guy sometimes. But I don't know, my boy. No, man, John Cena hands down is probably like been my favorite just because I saw his whole rise to the top and just everything, you know.
For real,
I don't know.
John Cena was cool. Not only that, but to like build on top of what you were saying, the WWE even changed like their world title for John Cena. Remember the spinner belt? Like
that shit was hard as fuck.
So a lot of people in the wrestling community don't like it, but I personally like the spinner belt. It was first introduced in the U.S. spinner belt. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
The United States.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah. So I remember that one was cool, and then he won the world title from JBL, and then he introduced that spinner one. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Yeah. That was cool. So that only speaks volumes to the influence or to how much just confidence WWE had behind John Cena to let him change the world title belt and not only keep it even after he lost it.
Yeah, that spinner belt was definitely a piece of that time, you know, because who the fuck still has spinners on their car? I'm sorry if any of you still have spinners, but nah, man, just like his whole persona from like thugonomics to the fucking Boy Scout John Cena. It's just crazy because that's a 180, you know, like you got a guy that's breaking all the rules, does not give a fuck, says fuck everyone, does whatever he wants. And then he transitions to like for the rules, for the laws. And it literally only happened right after the Marine. I saw that movie like a bajillion times. I don't remember anything now, but at that time I watched it like religiously. And I'm telling you, I saw it. And as soon as that movie came out, he became like this disciplined ass dude who just saluted everyone, was always about being positive and like supporting people. And then like I feel like that really like thugonomics already propelled them high. Him doing the Marine and then that post John Cena just propelled them even higher. And that shit was just fucking crazy to watch. But yeah, I remember I wanted to buy a chain with my allowance money with the little lock on it, and I wanted to walk around school like that with that fucking stupid ass lock chain he had. I don't even know what the fuck that meant, but I wanted it.
I had that too. I made one myself. I just got a random ass lock, random ass chain, put it together. But let's okay. So John Cena brought a lot of like the street stuff, straight into professional wrestling with the Doctor of Thugonomics
Hey,
stuff.
real quick though, real
But
quick. Do you remember the Chain Gang?
the chain gang, I remember that. He was like, "Let me know if you're part of the chain
Yeah.
gang." So going back to what I was saying, since he brought like a lot of the street stuff back into professional wrestling, I remember there was a segment at one time, and fucking I don't remember what event it was, but it was John Cena. He had a world title, spinner belt, and he was wearing a white tee. And Vince McMahon showed up, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, boss? You know, like what up?" And this one says, "What's good in the hood?" And the point is just exchange of words. And Vince McMahon says, "Keep it up," and Nuffle says, "My N word." on fucking
I remember that.
on
I
live
remember
TV,
that.
and then the camera cuts to Booker T, and he's just there like, "Tell me he didn't just say that."
That's
I mean,
right.
just
I remember that. Oh my
what do you
god.
the thought process behind that segment? I just don't understand it, bro. Like
I mean, it's all for entertainment, so I get it. But
that
it's
fool just
like,
wanted to say it. He just wanted to say it, bro.
nah,
Man
yeah,
just wanted to
that
drop the
fool's been
N
wanting to
bomb.
say for a minute.
He I could just picture him. He walked into the boardroom and he was like, "Hey, listen up. What if I say the N word?" And then all the people, all the yes men were like, "Hey, that's a brilliant idea, Vince. When do you want to say?" He probably said it all the time around them. You know, I don't know Vince, but you know, that's just a funny segment, questionable segment to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Some of the shit he's done is questionable. Like when they had the whole Rock and
A lot of
the
this
Rock.
shit.
This was my questionable moment for Vince when, like, his thought process, because he obviously has to be a part of the script since he's the head honcho. So this was my thought for this like scene. At least I remember when he was with the Rock in the ring, and then Rikishi came out to do his little thing. I forgot what that move was called, where he rubs
Oh
his ass in his face.
yeah. The Kiss My Ass Club.
Yeah, so my thought process behind it was like, there's no fucking way he suggested like, hey, how about we just stick my face in Rikishi's ass? And then like Rikishi probably didn't even know about it. He was just like, hey, just come to the ring, like you know what's going on as soon as you come out. Um, you know what I mean? Like that was my questionable one. Was like, did you just sacrifice yourself to get into Rikishi's fucking kiss my ass club, or like what the fuck is going on? And then it made me question him as an adult, like, hey Rikishi, like you okay, G? Like why are you sticking this shit up your ass? Like what the fuck? But obviously as a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, like yeah, fucking rub that face in his ass and all that shit, you know, lit ass kid. But like, I don't know, like now that I'm watching as an adult, I'm like, what the fuck, like. Hey, this is kind of questionable, Loki. Like, I'm kind
uh,
of curious about like what goes through their process, like the boardroom and shit, the pitch
all right.
meetings.
Here's my opinions, and some of this is backed by just things that I've heard and seen. So what I think happened is that Vince suggested like, "Hey, how about I have this fool kiss my ass," and so that happened for a few weeks. Like he had like Trish, I think, kiss his ass. William Regal
Oh
kiss his
yeah,
ass.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot who else. And I think eventually someone just said like, "Hey, what if like they turn the tables on you and you kiss someone else's ass?" You know, I think someone just
Oh
mentioned that,
yeah.
or and then that happened to be Rikishi, and then so Rikishi shared a story of how the stink face came to be. Is that he was just wrestling some dude, I forget who it was, and he had him in the corner in the position of the stink face, and some lady in the stand just said, "Put your ass in his face," and he just did it, and the whole crowd went crazy. So ever since then, he just stuck with it.
Uh,
He just,
he needs to cut the check to that lady then, because that lady just fucking gave him his signature move.
so yeah,
Damn.
so he just noticed that the whole crowd went crazy, and he just carried it on from there. But yeah, I wonder how that must have been like imagine just walking to the arena and you're like, damn, I'm wrestling Rikishi today. And you just know you're getting that ass to the face.
Mm-hmm. You just know if you're not scheduled, if you're not written down to win, you just know you're getting that ass in your face. Or even if you do win, you know you're gonna be the first guy that bounces back from the kiss my ass shit, you know, the stink face or
Yeah.
whatever. But I was just gonna ask you just one last thing. What's been your favorite match so far?
As a professional wrestling fan, that's a really hard question because
What's the most
or has
memorable in recent? What's the most memorable in recent memory then?
what's recent? What's recent?
Last fucking 5 years.
What year were we in? 2021. Okay. So what's okay? I'm gonna give an answer. So a memorable match that comes up to mind is, I think it happened last year in 2020 in May at not in WWE's, but this company called AEW, All Elite Wrestling. So they had a match in May at their Double or Nothing event, an event I was supposed to go to actually, but then COVID happened, so it was canceled, or at least like public access to it. So they had this thing called Stadium Stampede, where basically everyone got a chance to wrestle in this like football stadium. So there was like a 5-on-5, and they just wrestled each other in this football arena. But just the spots that they did, like for example, some fools fought in like a jacuzzi, some other fools fought in a bar, some other fools fought at the end zone. So it was between the inner circle, a group called the inner circle, against the elite. So it was just a very, very memorable match. And I remember being really disappointed that I wasn't going to be able to go to the event. But then seeing the end result that happened because of COVID and because they had to reinvent themselves and kind of replan what they were originally going to do. So just because that was the end result, to me, that was like, wow, that was honestly brilliant. And credit to everyone who was involved in that match. If you guys haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it. It had a lot. It had really
What's
good
it
like
called?
in ring wrestling. It was called the Stadium Stampede, between the Inner Circle and the Elite in AEW. So yeah, I recommend it. It had a lot of cool spots, a lot of cool wrestling, and it was just a fun match. It had everything that you would want. I give it 5 out of 5 for sure.
AEW, right? All Elite Wrestling.
All Elite Wrestling, yes sir. Shout out to
Damn.
them. If you're a wrestling fan, I would definitely recommend AEW. I would say they're WWE's competition as of right now. WWE hasn't had a competition in a long time in the world of professional wrestling. So it's exciting times as a fan of professional wrestling, and just a fan of combat sports, really, with UFC and professional wrestling linking up. It's exciting, bro. Really exciting.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that sounds exciting. My brother does have the WWE subscription network that I got him, but I think I might fuck around right now and pop that bitch on and fucking watch all Stone Cold's matches just to reminisce a little bit. Probably watch John Cena's fucking matches just to reminisce.
Interesting fact. I would recommend it. I think the network is already dead actually. Um, just like last week, I think it might have been dead. WWE switched all their streaming stuff to the Peacock platform. It's a streaming platform like Hulu and shit. And interestingly enough, Peacock is watching all of WWE's content and getting rid of what they think is controversial moments. So, for example, one moment that I can just think of right now is a segment between DX and the Nation of Domination, where X Pac comes out and, like, I don't know if you want to call it blackface or not. I'll let you be the judge of it. But basically, he comes out mimicking Mark Henry, an African American man, and Sean Wyman X Pac is a Caucasian man. So I mean, Peacock apparently has taken down like hundreds of segments like that. So unfortunately, I think that's we're gonna lose like a piece of wrestling history because of that. And I mean, I can see that they're just trying to justify it, trying to correct errors in history. But I mean, is erasing it really justifying it? I don't know. So unfortunately, that's what's going on right now with the Peacock service.
So you're telling me right now the WWE network isn't real anymore and it's Peacock.
Yeah, I don't. I think they might have just scrapped it last week. You might still be able to watch some things, but as of I know, they're planning on scrapping it.
So what happened to my WWE network just subscription then?
I'm not sure. I think they just canceled it.
That doesn't transfer over to Peacock?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm also a network subscriber, so I need to figure out what's going on there too. But I just know that they're switching over to Peacock.
Yeah, I see it right
And
now. It says WWE on Peacock, but that's my
and
question. Like,
and,
do I have to pay for
and
Peacock now?
And it sucks because WrestleMania 37 is actually this upcoming weekend. So I would usually watch all the pay-per-views on the WWE Network. So now it's like, damn, like now they're forcing us to buy Peacock to watch WrestleMania 37.
Oh,
You feel me?
hold on. I have it right. Well, this is apparently what it says right now. I just Googled it. So the question is WWE Network shutting down? Not my question. So the answer is WWE Network did not shut down when Peacock launched its WWE content page on March 18th. However, this was likely done to give fans time to make the transfer because all support and functionality for the WWE Network will cease on Sunday, April 4th. So yesterday, the day Jesus risen, WWE Network will shut down, and by April 5th, the service will be no more. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to hit, which is today. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hit up my brother, tell him if it works right now. If it doesn't, then I'm going to cancel it, and then if you're telling me all my wrestling content is only going to be available through Peacock, I'm going to call bullshit on fucking Peacock. Fuck you, Peacock.
Yeah, for deleting those scenes.
For deleting the scenes. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's controversial. Maybe I'm just being a biased piece of shit. But, dude, this is fucking what it is. Like, let history be history. If they want to take down the fucking Robert E. Lee fucking statue, they can, just don't destroy it. That's still history, man. We still have to fucking keep history intact. You know, we don't have to promote it, but just don't destroy history just because then this creates this. We'll leave it on this note. We have to wrap this up, but we'll leave it on this note. When you start to destroy history, you open this door where anyone can destroy something that they find controversial. And that's where it just gets that's where it becomes this convoluted fucking mess. Because now it's just your opinion versus my opinion, and we already know opinions aren't facts. So how the fuck does that work, you know? So I'm just saying, like, yeah, this is the reality too. What one person finds controversial, the other person won't. And when you're at that stalemate, like, how the fuck do you start dictating certain shit like that? Like, I don't know. I just think that's bullshit. Now I have to find out if that shit's even fucking working still. I'm fucking heated now, but whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's fortunate that it's happening, but I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let us know if you're watching WrestleMania 37 this weekend. Let us know who you would fade up. Let us know on YouTube, Spotify, or on IG at This Fool Podcast. Let us know who you would fade up. We'll catch you guys next time. I'm gonna leave you guys with you click "You Can't See Me" to pay my respects to the man that cannot be seen, John Cena. And with that, we're out of here, fools.